We have already learned how to declare variables and assign them values. Now, what to do with them? Let's play a little with those different type of variables by using operators. Operators are those special symbols which can perform certain actions on 1, 2 or 3 operands and then return a result. Some of these we already know and rest we can understand with examples. Arithmetic operators. These operators we know from mathematics. Addition operator, subtraction operator, multiplication operator, division, remainder. In this class, I have performed all the arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and remainder. These you must be knowing very well from mathematics. It will simply print the result of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Let's execute this. Addition result is printed here. Subtraction, multiplication, division and remainder. Remainder operator returns the remainder as a result when one operand is divided by another. Since 10 is not divided by 7 completely, we are left with 3 as the remainder and so is returned by this operator. If we check remainder for 10 percentage 5, ten is completely divided by 5, so remainder will be 0. Addition operator is also used for combining two strings, like we have used here in this example. The value of these variables is converted to string internally when they are printed like this. Equality and relational operators. The equality and relational operators are used if one operand is greater than, less than, equal to, not equal to another operand. Most of these we already know. Equal to, not equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. We used single equal sign to assign values. In Java, to check if two primitives are equal or not, then we have to use double equal. If you forgot what were primitives, you can watch previous video data types in Java again. In this example, let's compare two values. Value 1 is 1 and value 2 is 2. We have used single equal sign for assignment. We have assigned this value to this variable. For comparison, we have to use double equal. Let's check if this value 1 is equal to value 2. Also, if value is not equal to value 2, value 1 is greater than value 2, value 1 is less than value 2. Similarly, less than equal to. Let's see what's the output. Value 1 is equal to value 2. 1 is not equal to 2, so it is returning false. Value 1 is not equal to value 2, it is true, so it is also returning true. Value 1 is greater than value 2. 1 is not greater than 2, so it is returning false. 1 is less than 2, so it is returning true. Value 1 is less than equal to value 2, again true. These were binary operators. Bi means 2. So these operators involved two operands to perform action. Next comes unary operators. In Java, we have some operators which require only one operand. They can perform various operations such as incrementing or decrementing a value by 1, negating an expression, or inverting the value of a boolean. Unary plus operator, unary minus operator, increment, decrement, and logical complement operator. Here we require only one operand. This is unary plus operator. Like in mathematics, we used to have plus sign before any number, then it is positive number. If we don't have this positive sign, then also it is a positive number. So we don't use this much. For unary minus operator, it will negate an expression like this. Increment and decrement operators can be applied before or after the operand like result plus plus or plus plus result. In both cases, the result will be incremented by 1. But the difference comes in their evaluation. The prefix version plus plus result evaluates to the incremented value, whereas the postfix version result plus plus evaluates to the original value. If you are just performing a simple increment or decrement operation, it doesn't really matter which version you choose. But if you use this operator in part of a larger expression, the one that you choose may make a significant difference. Let's see how. Let's see the output and then I will explain what is happening. We first assign value 1 to result. If I print this, then it will be printed 1, correct? Next, we have applied decrement operator. If I am printing the value, what it will do? It will decrement the result with 1. So 1 minus 1, 0. Next, I applied increment operator. It will add value 1 to 0. So 1 is printed. Next, I am negating the expression. So minus 1. Now I have one boolean success and assigned value false. First it is printed as false. In next line I am changing the boolean value. If it is true, then it is converted to false. If it is false, then it is converted to true. These are postfix, increment or decrement operators. We can use prefix also. In this case, 101, the same output will be here. Let's execute. 101 minus 1. It will not make any difference if we are using like this. But it will make a huge impact if we are printing the values in the same line like this. Let's say Let's assign this value 5 to result. Let's execute this. 5. Even we have applied post increment operator, but the result is still 5. In previous example, we have applied the operator in this line and then printed the result. Then these will make no difference. But here, if we are printing in the same line, then post increment operator will evaluate to the original value. If I print the value in next line, result, now it will print 6. See, 6. Similarly for decrement operator, this out minus result, prefix decrement operator will evaluate the result at hand 5, because it is first decremented and then printed. In this, the result is printed first, then incremented. And in this line, we are simply printing the result. Again, it will print the result first and then decrement. We'll get 5 again. So this is the difference when it is printed in the same line. If we are using large expressions, then these will matter. Otherwise, if we are doing like this, then these will make no difference if you are using pre or post. Conditional operators, conditional and conditional or. These operators perform conditional and conditional or operation on two Boolean expressions. Conditional and will return true only if both Boolean expressions are true. If any one of these two is false, then the result will be false. Similarly, conditional or will return true if any of the two expressions is true. It will be false only when both expressions are false. One important thing here to notice is that out of two expressions, second is evaluated only if required. Let's understand what it means. In case of conditional or, if first expression evaluates to true, then there is no need of second expression to be true, because only one is required to be true in conditional or condition. So Java will not bother to evaluate the second expression. Similar is the case with conditional and. If first expression evaluates to false, then there is no need to evaluate second, since any one false expression will return false. Let's say value 1 is 1, value 2 is 2. To check their equalities, we have used double equal sign. If value 1 is 1 and value 2 is 2, if both are equal, then this is printed. if value is 1, or this is sign of conditional or. It is called as pipe sign. If value 1 is 1 and value 2 is also 1, then it will print this. Let's see what is the output. Now understand what is happening here. For AND operator, like I said, if both values are true, then only it will be returning true. If both expressions, this is our conditional AND operator, this is first expression and this is second expression. If both are evaluated true, then only it will be true. If any one of these two expressions is false, then it will not be printed. Let's see. This is printed, this is not. Because if any one is false, then it will not be returning true. If this is returning true, then only this statement is executed. If we are going to cover it in next video. Let's change the value. Similarly for conditional OR, if any one of the expression, either this expression or this expression is true, then it will be returning true. And if this value is true, first expression is true, then Java don't bother about this expression, whatever it is. Like if I say 3, then it is not bothered about execution of second statement. It already has printed, yes, it is correct. This expression will not be evaluated. Similarly for this, if first expression is suppose false, this second expression is true, right? Value 2 is 2. If first one is false, then it is not evaluated. Let us check. This is printed for this one. This is conditional operators. Next is ternary operator. This conditional operator is question mark, colon. It requires 3 operands. It can be thought of as a short form for an if then else statement. We are going to learn conditional statements in next video. For the time being, just understand that this operator will assign first value to result if some condition is evaluated true, otherwise it will assign the second value. Ternary operator is used like this. We evaluate some condition before question mark and assign 2 values. If some condition is true, then value 1 is assigned to result. If some condition is false, then value 2 will be assigned. If, then, else. This is how ternary operator is used. Value 1 is 1, value 2 is 2. I have used here some condition. It is true, so value 1 should be assigned to a result. Let's check. 1. If I am making it false, now 2 should be assigned, value 2. This is the ternary operator. type comparison operator. The instance of operator compares an object to a specified type. We can use it to test if an object is instance of a class, an instance of a subclass, or an instance of a class that implements a particular interface. I have one parent class. Parent class, it is empty. Class child is also implementing. It is extending parent and implements my interface. My interface is what? It is also a simple empty interface. Now I have created two objects, parent object 1 and object 2 of type child, using new operator as we already have discussed. Now let's check if obj1, like object 1 is of type parent, it is instance of parent or not. It is instance of child or not. Object 1. Object 1 is instance of interface or not. Object 2 is of child type, so it is instance of parent. Object 2 instance of child. Let's execute and then I will explain. Obj1 instance of parent. Since it is of type parent, we have evaluated it to true. Obj1 instance of child, false. Right, because it is not of type child, it is of type parent. Obj1 instance of my interface, this class, this parent class is not implementing this interface, so it is returning false. Now comes to obj2, which is of type child, and child class is extending both parent and implementing interface also. So obj2 is instance of parent, true. Obj2 instance of child, also true. Since it is extending, that is why it is true. Interface of my interface, it is again true because this child class is implementing interface. These are blueprints, parent and child. We can check these objects are created from these blueprints or not by using instance of. We have used single operators so far. If we have multiple operators in same expression, then there must be some rule to decide which will be evaluated first. Java has defined precedence for various operators like this. The operators having high precedence must be evaluated first before low precedence operators. All binary operators are evaluated from left to right except assignment operators. For assignment, we have seen we assign some value from right side to variable on left hand side. If right hand side contains any expression, then it will be evaluated first before assignment.